Good morning. We should be going live any second now. If you are joining me live, then you will need a mat if you have one. If not, just somewhere that's comfy enough to put your feet down or your knees on the ground. So we're going to do about a 10-minute flow today, just focusing on core and glutes. So giving those just a second to gather your stuff, to hop on, do whatever you need to prepare yourself to move a little bit as I put my watch on. It's charging. So if you are joining me live, thank you. That is appreciated. If you are watching the replay of this sometime later, that is just as appreciated. As always, you're more than welcome to leave a comment or question or any kind of feedback. All right, so let's get started. Today we're going to start in mountain pose. So just rolling your feet. I'm going to close my door before we get started. Standing on your mat, just rolling the feet back and forth. Finding your feet. I know that sounds kind of funny. Balancing out in the center. Rolling the shoulders down. Checking our body, making sure we are in alignment. Right, so shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles. Feet are about hip width apart. And we're going to have active hands and breathing. Breathing in and out. Taking a moment to slow down the body, to slow down the brain, before we heat it up and cool it back down. Letting go of any thoughts, focusing only on the breath flowing through your body. Then we're going to make our way to the tops of our mat. And we'll stay in the center so you can see me better. And breathing in, inhaling the arms up. And we're going to flow into a chair. So side view will look like this, right? So hands can be at heart center, they can be out in front, up above. You want to check and make sure that your shoulders and your hips are still in line, right? They're not rounding, they're not tucking in or out too much. So you might want to check that belly, and then that you can still see your big toes. So the knees are tracking over the ankles still. We're going to just do a few chairs. So breathing up to extended mountain, and sinking down into a chair. Inhaling up, exhaling down. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable. Inhaling 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 2, 3, 4. Again, inhaling, just starting to move the body a little bit, and exhaling. If you would like to add on a layer, you can shift your weight into your left leg and pick up that right heel. Breathing, maybe pulsing, and switching. So sitting here, switching back and forth at your own pace, staying still or exploring and finding movement. If this is too much, that is okay. You can always go back to the flow of breathing, finding mountain and exhaling into chair, finding what works for your body within this flow. You might even go into a balancing chair, right? Both up for just a few seconds, breathing, feeling, and noticing what's going on as the sweat starts to build. Wherever you are, let's go ahead and come up to extended mountain pose. And swan dive down into a forward fold, finding a block if you need it, reaching those hands towards the ground, finding some freedom and some release through the back of the legs. Let's go ahead and make our way into down dog or tabletop. So here is the option for tabletop. Your shoulders are over your wrist, your hips are over your knees, and then down dog, right? Your head is in between your elbow crease, shoulders are pulled back, heels are reaching towards the ground, most likely not touching. You can find some freedom, move how you choose, what feels good for your body at either posture, for just a few breaths. And we'll go back down to tabletop, swinging our feet around, or whatever way is comfortable for you. We're going to move down into our bridge pose. So bringing one knee into your chest, safely rolling back, checking you can still see me, and breathing here for just a moment. All right, as you're ready, go ahead and bring those knees up to the sky. Hands can be palms up or palms down. I prefer palms up. Most of the time in our bridge pose, we are going to have our feet just about hip width. If you prefer a wider one, you can always take your feet out to the edge of the mat. So on our inhale, we are going to lift our hips up, checking the glutes, making sure they're not squeezing, right? You want that power to be coming from your core. Checking where our shoulders are and breathing. On an exhale, we'll float down. Inhaling up, exhaling down, finding a flow here, breathing, listening to your body. If it feels good, you can tuck those shoulders underneath, clasp your hands for a bit more. Again, combining your breath with movement. Inhaling up, exhaling down, focusing on the breath, noticing where you feel it in your body, seeing if we can stay present in the moment. I know at my house, my dogs are trying to bust into the room, so it's easy to focus on them. I have to remind myself to focus back. So we're going to go up one more time in our bridge. And if you'd like to add on, then you can choose to bring one leg out, so grounding ourselves into the right leg, holding that left leg up in the air or at a right angle, 90-degree angle, whatever you choose. Breathing for just a few seconds, placing that back down. Same thing, grounding through the left foot, bringing that right foot up gently, whatever angle works for you. Oh, feeling those shakes, embracing the growth, breathing, placing the foot back down, and then the hips down. Go ahead for just a second and bring our knees into our chest and roll for just a moment. Our final pose is going to be our boat pose. So there's a few ways we can transition to that. As you're rolling on your back, side to side, massaging out the back muscles, you can begin to roll back and forth, or you can transition over, whatever works best for your body. Doing so safely, we will come up into boat pose. So eventually, our boat pose will look like this or like this. There's a few variations. So we'll start with our feet on the floor. Right, let's actually take a cat-cow here. So inhaling, pushing that heart center through. Exhaling, curling in. Flowing through 3 or 4 of these before we get into our boat pose. Finishing up one more. Making our way into boat pose. So, most modified will be keeping your feet here, arms up, leaning back, right, rolling those shoulders into place. You can feel it in your core. Toes can stay right here on the ground. Toes can come up to 90 degrees. Arms can be overhead, to the side, out in front. We want to ensure that core stability, that that's where it's coming from, right? Still having relaxed up top, so that duality, that dynamic tension of being relaxed up top and strong through the core, feeling the shakes, knowing that you're growing and strengthening. You can also take it a step further, straightening the legs and bringing the hands up overhead, breathing, and slowly letting go. To finish today, it's right at about the 10-minute mark, so if you get going, it is 7:40. Rolling onto our backs, just taking a few seconds to reset, to cool down after we warmed up. You can stay here in Shavasana or final resting pose, or my favorite is waterfall. So if you have a wall nearby that is easily accessible to you, let's go ahead and move our way over there, and we will kind of make sure you can see. Put our legs up the wall. Simple as that, right? The legs straight up the wall. Hands can be out to a T. Laying here, breathing. Shaking the legs for just a second, letting go of anything that's left over, loosening up any tension. Inhaling and exhaling. This is so good for our body to relieve any lactic acid. To rest and reset. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's go to our happy place. Mine is the water, similar to that picture up there. Choose an image that works for you, whether it's on the couch with your family, outside at a park, a mountain, the beach, whatever your happy place is. Breathing in the sights and sounds. Excuse me. Breathing in the sights and sounds around you. Cultivating a feeling of being grounded, firmly rooted, standing tall and strong, at the same time feeling open and connected. Inhaling and exhaling. Enjoying some breaths in our waterfall. Go ahead and bend those knees, tuck them into the chest, and then gently roll to the side. Pausing here for just a moment. And as you're ready, coming up to an easy seated pose. Inhaling the arms up, harnessing that power that you created, bringing it down to your chest, knowing that at any time you can recreate the feelings from today. Thank you so much for joining me on about 15 minutes of practice for your Thursday. And we'll end with Namaste, which means the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.